Hello, my name is Mother Leah Colville. Thank you for coming to St. Luke's Good Friday sermon. You can read the readings on the lectionary page for Good Friday. St. George's College in Jerusalem has been an Anglican center for pilgrimage and study for 101 years. English speakers from around the Anglican Communion are invited to attend 11 courses for pilgrimage and study. Each course is about a month long, and the school can provide dorm space for 40 students at a time. Our offering today goes to support the medical, educational, and peacemaking ministries of the Diocese of Jerusalem. I was a pilgrim student at St. George's College in 2014, and many places are transformative, but today I want to talk about the High Priest Caiaphas and vinegar. On a day-to-day basis, Jerusalem was governed in Jesus' time by a high priest. Assisted by a council of 12 family elders, he had the difficult task of mediating between the remote Roman puppet prince and the local populace. Locals tend to be hostile towards pagans and wanted to be free of foreign interference. The high priest's political responsibility was to maintain order and to see that tribute was paid to Rome in order to avoid massacres. Caiaphas was the high priest during Jesus' adulthood. He held office from about 18 to 36 Common Era, longer than anyone else in the Roman period, and we have every reason to believe that he was a successful and reliable diplomat. But the year before Jesus was executed by the Roman state as a political dissident, there had been a Jewish uprising against Rome at Passover. 4,000 Jews were massacred and their bodies stacked around the walls of Jerusalem as a warning to other mouthy Jews. And if you do not know this, you might think that Caiaphas suffered from political jealousy, from professional jealousy. Now, there are theologians that have erroneously taught this view and wounded God's heart with anti-Semitic views. Matthew 26:57 and 22:66 states that Jesus was taken to the house of the high priest Caiaphas after he was betrayed to await trial for blasphemy in the morning. And the truth is that Jesus never said he was the Messiah, which means military leader who will free us from our oppressors. Other people, like Martha of Bethany and Peter of Bethsaida, said Messiah, but not Jesus. Jesus called himself the Son of Man, or the Son of Humanity. The lower level of the high priest Caiaphas' stone house had a room with a separate external door and a pit. The pit was an underground holding cell, and prisoners were lowered into that pit by rope. Before I went down to the pit, I noticed 2 rectangular holes carved into a half wall that could each hold about a cup, and I asked the tour guide for more information. One of these spaces held olive oil to soften the skin of the prisoner prior to scourging. Scourging is being whipped with whips that have metal attached to them. The other hole held vinegar used to make the wound sting and to revive the prisoner when he fainted. Now, I've always had a visceral reaction to the vinegar offered to Jesus to drink. It has always made me so mad. And now, as a Holy Land pilgrim, I knew why. Jesus healed people with oil and with wine. This torture was people weaponizing the symbol of God's favor and deliverance. Jesus had just had bread and wine with his friends hours earlier, and now that wine, turned sour, was waking him to prolong his suffering. the other pilgrims, and I went into the pit on a ladder. It was dimly lit, and before electricity, it would have been black. I thought about Joseph of the dream coat, lowered into the pit by his brothers and sold for the same price as Jesus. Joseph was hated for saying he would rule over his brothers. Jesus was hated because other people said that he would rule over Rome. Joseph would live to save his family, and Jesus would die to save humanity. In the pit, we pilgrims, we thought about waiting for execution. We read Psalm 88 and we wept for Jesus. We wept for wine that never wanted to be vinegar, and for oil meant to heal and not to harm. We wept for all the ways that we weaponize good things. And we thought about our own graves, dark as a pit, from which Jesus had no rescue. This is Psalm 88. Lord, you are the God that saves me. Day and night I cry out to you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to hear my cry. I am overwhelmed with troubles, and my life draws near to death. I am counted among those who go down to the pit, and I am like one without strength. I am set apart with the dead, like the slain one who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, who are cut off from your care. You have put me into the lowest pit, in the darkest depths. Your wrath lies heavily on me. You have overwhelmed me with all your waves. You have taken me from my closest friends. You have made me repulsive to them. I am confined. I cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, Lord, every day. I spread out my hands to you. Do you show your wonders to the dead? Do their spirits rise up to praise you? Is your love declared in the grave, your faithfulness in destruction? Are your wonders known in the place of darkness? Are your righteous deeds in the land of oblivion? But I cry out to you for help, Lord. In the morning, my prayer comes before you. Why, Lord, do you reject me and hide your face from me? From my youth, I have suffered. I have been close to death. I have borne your terrors and despair. Your wrath has swept over me. Your terrors have destroyed me. All day long, they surround me like a flood. They have completely engulfed me. You have taken from me friend and neighbor. Darkness is my closest friend.